you lose your fucking mind. You lose your common sense. Just like I told you, there's a natural order lives in their body. Now, you've been introduced to the freaky side, sometimes there's no coming back. See? That's why all kinds of things that happen, they happen for what? They happen for a reason. Because I already know I probably would end up going to the dark side. I have control over that other mind that matters. That thing of evil. You heard me? So like I said again, I get my whole situation. I get it. Because that was my weakness. And guess what? I was taking too much advantage of having that strength. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, I was gonna be in P. Diddy for P. Diddy 40 if I would have been in the wheelchair. I'm just being honest, G. I'm just being honest. Even though I ain't like that nigga, all them girls was going there. And all I can say to myself is, have a lot of fun, but who gonna be really having fun? You know? And then what? You ain't gonna be filming that shit for yourself. That nigga would have been flipping you over. Ain't that cool? Not look. Not if I been look, not if I've been walking. But see, cause not if I was walking because I was strictly tickling. Ain't no nigga can play no game with no motherfucking pimp, baby. So like I say again, Karen's hard. Karen's hard. Karen's house. That's it. Karen's house. See that nigga P. Diddy was after his pocket. He did Karen always talk about P. Diddy was after him like he was a girl. That shit was crazy. We turned off with explaining that shit. He kept asking on the pointers about acting, you know, he was good at. He said, I just got into acting. And he trying to get pointers from me. Boy, that was something, girlfriend. I'm trying to tell you. I told you to touch that nigga 2 hands. That 2 times I touched that nigga hand. I never want to fuck with that nigga ever again. For real. Real. But see, again, G, that's why I had to be in. Huh? That nigga was slimy. Nigga was slimy. That nigga slimy hands, man. That nigga his hand was sweaty. Like I said again, that nigga, he was like, didn't I hear him just say he might be one of them reptilians? They call it reptilians. So like I said again, what do reptiles mostly have? Close fucking eyeballs. Their eyeballs are always close together. Oh, because think about it, G, the type of shit that he doing, was he ever thinking about the people feeling? All right, so that like that tell you that nigga subhuman. Come on now. You can't do all that shit that nigga did and not think that when he come back on you, can you handle it? Shit, but the stuff is this nigga he can handle it. Like this nigga said, fuck it. I did my shot, I shot my shot, I got my shot. Now I shot, and put it shot, now I'm shot. Now I'm stuck, now I'm all fucked up. like in the dude said, shit, yeah, did P didn't really do it? Did he do it? Did he do it? Did he really do it? Yeah. Yeah. Got shot by shooters on look. Got shot by shooters on shot. And I think he was coming back to shoot. Yeah, he got shot by his own shot because he came back to shoot him because he knew he should have known that it was gonna come back to get him. On the real, that's why most people don't realize the reason why that circle is a beginning with no ending. Because the truth that's in you makes you, listen to me carefully, makes you exquisite. It makes you exquisite. So therefore, when you get out of that altogether, shit, you liable to do anything that's out of order after that. Because you ain't in the natural realms of you knowing better. Nigga, you in the world of the motherfucking make-believe. These motherfuckers believe they can be anything. Dog, cat, roach, rat. But all these people fucked up with this shit. I'm trying to tell you. You got motherfuckers that put on a whole rat suit and had a woman walking around with a fucking pain. Just the same as they put a motherfucking whole dog suit. You got him walking around like a dog with a pain. And they had one that went viral, G. A motherfucking nigga with 2 white girls on a leash. Oh my goodness. whole thing is, after coming to the conclusion that we really did have slavery, why would you want to repeat that shit?
Right.
But again, ain't no money in peace. Ain't no money in peace. Get me wrong. I'm just gonna tell you, you gonna always have one motherfucker that wants shit to go wrong. But that one motherfucker just don't like peace. I see now why my life didn't want to like him first time, the first two times. Because I was calling myself a hypocrite just now. Because I was one of the ones that didn't like peace. Ain't that crazy? Woo, woo. And my life was not like the first two times I found. I was like, shit, I know you got boo boo fluid and you fucking shit off. And I said, oh, that's why. Didn't like my shit because, hey, I was being a hypocrite. Like, they gave me a bell on it too. I was being a hypocrite. And you talk about some shit that you was and you know you was, but then you're gonna try to say that it is what it is, but it's better than what it was then because you know now not to do that shit. Yeah, yeah. And see, that's the thing about when I say that being chastised by knowing the truth, you're gonna do yourself worse than your mom or your dad would do you, because the creator of your ass being here ain't gonna do you shit. That's why your ass gonna come back at the lowest shit that you had dreams and got nightmares and shit, all that type of shit. That's your thoughts of all bullshit happening to you, and as you doing fucked up shit, all the shit that you was afraid of by doing fucked up shit, you ain't right with you being. When you come back here, you gonna be that shit that you was so afraid of being and shit, because of the shit that you was doing that wasn't shit. When you had a chance to really do some real shit that made some fucking sense, which was in you already to make out of life. Period. It ain't hard, G. That's why you getting back to your motherfucking self, because you already know if you don't make you happy, who will? Thank you.
Right.
Who will? So the wheel is always turning. That's why you gotta know who's doing the motherfucking driving. That's why I try to get people to realize the whole journey is self-explanatory. In order to be responsible, you got to be thinking about what the fuck you're doing 24/7 to keep it going right straight. Anything else, you're being less than who you are. Raw creativity in motion. So you create the reality. So you should know that. That's what you create. A whole bunch of other motherfuckers creating this reality, but they don't even know what the fuck they doing. Seriously. I'm just being honest with you. They don't know what they're doing. They just doing it along to get along. Doing exactly what they were programmed to do. Doing exactly what was taught to them to do. You see? And I guarantee you, the truth in them do what they do. Tell them that this ain't right, but they do it anyway. So again, the truth that's in you is like it's on neutral, and you just know it's supposed. You just supposed to be thinking about it being on neutral, and you supposed to be what doing what you're supposed to. You see, like I was telling the people that I talked outside of the water because I said, I out here, I'm like, y'all out here fucking parlay, put shit on that, about to pull that my head right back inside. Shit, I went out there, got that little mail, came straight back inside of the mailbox that had shit in it. I said, oh, damn, trip to this hot motherfucker for night. But then that's when I stopped by them for that second that I talked to them. I had heard of y'all. They keep that. Damn, I felt like I lost 3 pounds. But anyway, it's like, when are we gonna realize why you lied in the first place? Because once you realize the reason why you lied in the first place, that's when you're gonna realize you was taught that shit. Gee, you was taught that shit, baby. Because you was taught that shit to compete with. See what I'm saying? And you can't compete with the truth that's in you. There ain't nothing to compete with. Cause that's already in you. What you competing for? What shit could you win? Goddamn thing when the truth is in you. Shit. All you supposed to do is know what you're doing while you're dealing with a whole bunch of other funky fuckers. Because I call them funky fuckers because as long as they don't know what they're doing, they can fuck it up for everybody. But again, Donald Trump really surprised me when he left there and said, this is not Joe Biden's fault. That's what he said. He said that this was orchestrated by some real criminals. You're gonna be surviving them too. Because if we don't get to the truth of this shit, dealing with this shit here, it's gonna get worse later on because bitch get back in power again. It's like you know who your fucking criminals are. What the fuck are you doing letting them hang around? Gee, I'm trying to tell you. Just like if all these police, I be laughing my ass off when I'm watching the policemen losing their jobs. Yeah, this is funny because they have they have an FBI task force out there on their head. G. That's funny. Um, they have FBI task force out there, and they actually sheriffs or high ranks. All it's like I said again, you're not supposed to treat human citizens the way that these people are treating them. You feel me? And when as soon as they go above and beyond what the law is dealing with what their job titles is, the FBI just not saw said none. You can take me out the handcuffs because in a minute you ain't having no more job. I mean 4 hour laughing because he said for a certain you have to realize a lot of people could play as FBI agents. He said, well, how many times this happened to you? Somebody says FBI agent. Everyone had nothing to say. The police ain't doing their due diligence, meaning they ain't doing their training. They doing too much of watching fucking TV. Acting. You see? Because they acting like the police when they're really scary. Really. Because what they always saying, get your hand out the pocket for my own safety. Bitch, you got a badge and a gun and a taser and extra clips for your gun. And here I am in a motherfucking jogging suit with my hands in my jogging pants pocket. What kind of gun I'm gonna pull out? But like I said again, am I under arrest? See what I'm saying? You dig?
So you still need to take your hands out your pocket.
Again, for whose safety? Mine or yours? See what I'm saying? Really, I really is for mine because I gotta come up with my shit, and if I come up with my shit quicker than you, yeah, that's you behind. It is, but it ain't no wild motherfucking West nigga. You ain't retarded. You'll see damn well either my motherfucking penis is just that motherfucking big, or that's a motherfucking gun in a nigga pocket. Thank you. I got sweatpants on and shit. But anyway, I get you with that, G. I get you. But that again, that sounds like a police officer that's afraid of the citizens. Because my thing is, my instinct.
That's to me, that's the right mindset because we capable of any and everything.
All right, but that's what see. That's
The women are lost their mind. They doing
okay,
crazy
cause
stuff
see,
too. So
okay,
everybody is
all right. See, 'cause that is it. Nobody ain't living life with their instinct. See, they're living life the way that they were taught to not think. They were taught to just believe some shit, understand some shit, have faith and some hope. So, like I said again, with all that being said, right there, when you walk up on a person, you already picturing it, thinking that they did something. See, because of the way you was taught it. Me, your vibrations, your instincts, gonna tell you a whole bunch about a fucking person when you talking to them. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna know a whole bunch about that person by talking to that person. But if you ain't got that type of intellect, you're gonna start picking on that motherfucking person, start fucking with their nerves and shit. And that's just it. That little dude that just said that he just came home from the army, he's schizophrenic and all kinds of other things. He said that if I don't explain it to you, you're gonna run up on somebody like me, and they gonna deal with you when you talk to crazy to me, and I started having flashbacks. That man was telling the truth, though, G. That police was treating that man like he was a innocent little child when the dude was just trying to explain to him, but the police was saying, "Shut up, you ain't listening." You don't tell no grown fucking man to shut up. Because I know I feel bad by doing it. I know I was doing it. Shit. And check cash and fucking please. Shut up. See. The man bitch wasn't making no sense, man. So I told the nigga chef because he wanted to talk to me down on me because I'm in the field, chef, and he standing up way bigger than me. But he didn't realize that shit. I had my gun under my leg. So me saying shut up had backup. Because I know I couldn't stand it. But I had something back of me saying shut up because I already know what I can pull out that make you shut up fast. It's a triple having a gun. That's why you didn't good at a gun. Gun give you too much packing space. I'm trying to say. They do. Because it lets you know one thing. I'm protected like a motherfucker. Yes, I am. Anybody feel froggy and want to leave? I'm turning the ass into mince meat. You might put this on a sandwich. Like it depends what they ask. But back to not being violent, back to the love that we all were part of being from the beginning. Shit, from the beginning, girlfriend, we used to love each other, boy. Woo! Oh my goodness, boys. I seen you. I gave you a hug and said, "How you doing today?" I'm doing good. You too. I know too. You're doing good too. Yo. We ain't never envied each other. Shit. We ain't never competed against each other. We always did things together. Shit. Next thing you know, we fighting, competing, man, bunch of bullshit. We ain't with no fight, really, until we created chaos when we start eating animals and shit. That's when we start trying to slave our own self and shit, and then realize we ain't had a heart to do ourselves that type of shit. So then we start playing with the monkeys and the high DNA, and then whipped it up and made it a fucking other species and shit. The fucking Caucasian white motherfucker. And white motherfuckers said they like learned everything we taught their ass, and realized that we were too soft of an ass. He said, "Oh shit, we know their weakness cause we know why they created us. So we gonna let them flip the script on these motherfuckers, and then we gonna run every fucking thing." Sure enough, they did that. They turned that bitch from natural rail to straight up chemical. Here we go right now. You ain't thinking this, you believe. You ain't thinking because you don't want to help the bad over people and shit. It doesn't make no sense to you. You ain't thinking when you have some faith in some shit that the motherfuckers don't give a fuck about the gave you. You ain't thinking that you're hoping that these motherfuckers will tell you the fucking truth and the truth is they never tell you the fucking truth. You don't want to know the fucking truth to be the message they got to say. Period. Thank you. That's it. That's all. But instead of waking up now, instead of starting to realize myself. I tell you boy, shit, once you realize you're creating reality with a whole bunch of other assholes, the reason why you call them assholes, because they're living out of their assholes, but they ain't thinking from the brain. They not thinking, they just believing. That's it. That's flip flop, that's flip you to be flop, to not know that you can't believe shit. Because believing stops you from thinking. Period. You believe in thinking. It's like you can't understand and think at the same time. It's like you can't have faith and think at the same time, and you can't hope and think at the same time. So you gotta be responsible and you think that all the time. But shit, I wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about, so I'm thinking about what the fuck you're saying. Shit. I'm supposed to pick up on the shit just as easy as you saying it. Why? Because it's supposed to make sense to me because the sense coming out of who? You. Y'all with it? Hmm.
That's gonna scare the shit out of me. Let me call you right back.
All right, now. Shit. The truth is in you for you to know better with. It ain't no rocket fucking science. It is what it is. Pure creativity. The atom. Me. The mind is all that matters. And matter is nothing but the atom. And if you go do some research about the atom, you'll see exactly what the atom do. When you trying to look at it with your naked eye, the atom is telling you the truth. I ain't moving at 1 inch. Why you looking at me? Looking at me. But as soon as you put me on some other fucking light that you can see, we do a dance for you. I motherfucking jump, but can't even see me in nothing but that other way. Because as long as you're looking at me, I know the truth. Because you can't see me in no other light. Because the truth is the truth. I am the light already in you. So, you see it in you. Until you can't see me at all by looking through the computer. And that's when you see the truth. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm about to go see the ass right now. Wow, this is a little bit. Let's go.
Turn to the jury again. That's what he does. If you speak, you lose everything. Your mic, your money, your name. But I didn't fold. I talked to silence. And here I am. Wendy sat still for a moment before recounting a time that felt almost surreal in hindsight. We come from a very homosexual era of hip-hop, she began, quoting her own past words. That wasn't shade. That was truth. And for saying it, I was burned at the stake. She explained how in the early 2000s there was a quiet but undeniable effort to protect certain stars by shaming those who questioned them. I had Charlemagne on the air with me, and even back then, we knew what not to say if we wanted to stay employed, but I said it anyway. She brought up her 2004 book, The Wendy Williams Experience, which was full of coded references and veiled warnings about Diddy, Jay-Z, and their after-dark lifestyles. People called it gossip, but now the government calls it evidence. Wendy then recounted a 2009 interview she did with former Bad Boy artist Mark Curry, who had just written Dancing with the Devil. He called Diddy the shadow that ruins people. I agreed. And suddenly, that interview disappeared from the radio station's archives. She told the court that every time she tried to feature someone critical of the industry, Superhead, Gene Deal, Jaguar Wright, she got pushed back. Emails, threats, even FCC complaints.
No, Molly, we're going in here.
Down through every
Can't
angle
start a
they
case
could.
without
Then
a
she
fisted
dropped
gin.
something that
Helps a
caught
man
the court's
think.
attention. There was a
Now,
list,
where to find
not
these
written down,
pincos?
but
Hey
everyone
there,
in the
partner, where
industry
you
knew.
from?
A list of people who couldn't talk about. And when I broke that rule, I paid. She explained that her Hot Topics segments were constantly being flagged for review, that show producers were being threatened by talent reps, and that executives warned her, off the record, to back off. They said I was going to mess it all up for them, for the station, for myself. She paused. But now it's all messed up anyway, because the truth is out. Wendy's voice lowered as she finished this part. This trial is not the beginning. It's the end of a cover-up, and I want the jury to know. I've been sounding this alarm for 20 years. You all just finally heard it. As Wendy looked back at the courtroom, her tone shifted again. Sharper now, more precise. You think this is just about Diddy? You're wrong, she said, locking eyes with the jury. This is about the ecosystem that protected him, and that includes names you were never supposed to hear in a courtroom. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey. A collective stillness fell over the courtroom. The prosecution asked her to explain, and she did, with brutal clarity. There's a list in Hollywood, not one you'll ever see, not one you'll ever hold, but it's real. It's the list of people you do not cross. And if you do, you disappear. Wendy recounted the aftermath of her infamous radio segments when she exposed not only Diddy's parties and manipulation, but also called out how Tyler Perry allegedly blackballed her behind closed doors. I had sources, real ones, producers, agents, and they told me flat out, Wendy, your name is being passed around. They don't want you touching certain topics. You're being labeled unstable. She explained that after her fallout with the Precious team, a film both Perry and Oprah were heavily involved in, her access in the industry collapsed. I went from getting invites to premieres to being wiped off the guest list. One executive told me, Oprah's people don't want you near her anymore. That's power. And that power was used to protect people like Diddy. Then came a chilling story. Wendy testified that she confided in Oprah once, privately, about her own past trauma with abuse. She told me she respected me, that she'd never exploit that story. And then, next thing I know, my abuser was on her show, being interviewed while I was being blackballed. She continued. That wasn't just betrayal. That was retaliation. The jury looked stunned as Wendy laid it bare. They smiled with him. They took pictures. They stood beside Diddy while the rest of us were getting crushed for speaking out. And I know why. Because they needed him for deals, for reach, for silence. She then revealed an email accidentally forwarded to her from a PR firm handling crisis communication for both Perry's studio and a Bad Boy affiliated brand. The subject line, Managing Optics, Wendy, Puff, Tyler. That was all it said, but that was all she needed. Wendy stared straight ahead. These aren't just isolated stars. They're a machine that feeds on silence and destroys anyone who dares pull the curtain back. By now, the courtroom had grown tense with every word Wendy delivered. Then came a moment that prosecutors later called a turning point. Wendy pulled out a thick file folder. This, she said, tapping the cover, is a collection of NDA, email threads, and internal memos that were never supposed to see the light of day. She clarified that she obtained them not through hacking, but from industry friends who had long since left the game. They were tired of watching women disappear, tired of seeing truth labeled gossip. Wendy began reading from an NDA dated 2007, the name redacted, the language ominous. Subject agrees not to disclose any private gatherings, recordings, or interactions with Sean Combs, his guests, or associates. Violation of this agreement may result in financial penalties and public retaliation. She slammed the paper down. Public retaliation. That's how deep it went. Next, she read an internal email from a luxury hotel chain. We have prepared the presidential suite with all requested amenities, including extra linens, candlelight lighting, and discretion measures. Mr. Combs's assistant will arrive for setup prior to guest entry. The date on that email? 2015. Cassie was still with Diddy. You think this was just celebrity partying? Wendy asked. Number, this was a system. This was planned, funded, scheduled, and cleaned up afterward. She revealed that she had evidence of payments made to publicists, talent managers, even bloggers, all to manage the narrative. One email instructed a writer to avoid any reference to recent rumors, and instead push an article on Diddy's philanthropic work. Then came a photo, one that prosecutors presented to the jury. Diddy, Tyler Perry, and a media consultant known for her crisis sweep services, all standing together at a 2019 gala. They were smiling, Wendy said, smiling while women were getting paid to shut up and others were getting destroyed for not signing. She told the court that she, too, was offered an NDA. They wanted to shut me up, said I could have a syndicated TV deal if I agreed to move on from the topics I was covering. I said no, and I paid the price. The jury was silent. As Wendy concluded, the silence they bought cost others their freedom, their peace, their truth, and now it's all unraveling, one NDA at a time. As Wendy Williams reached the final portion of her testimony, she didn't break, she didn't cry. She simply sat with the weight of 2 decades of warning the world and being ignored. You see Diddy on trial, she said, her voice calm and controlled, but I see something much bigger. This isn't just about what he did. It's about who let him do it. She gestured to the defense table. You see one man, but behind him is a legacy of silence, a tower built on fear, on NDAS, on power plays and party invitations and billion-dollar handshakes. Then she turned directly to the jury. Every time someone tried to speak, that tower crushed them. She reminded the court that while Diddy was the one charged, others, Jay-Z, Perry, Oprah, the labels, the handlers, had sat quietly for years, some even watching the abuse happen firsthand. They shook his hand, they took his checks, and they made sure anyone who asked questions was pushed out the door. Wendy concluded her testimony with the same voice that made her radio show famous, commanding, raw, and unfiltered. I was called bitter, I was called crazy, but I was right, and I would rather be right in hell than be silent in heaven. She looked toward Diddy, who had remained mostly stoic through her testimony. You thought I was gone, you thought your power was enough, but now you sit where the truth finally caught up to you, and I hope it's loud. Before stepping down, Wendy turned once more toward the gallery. This trial is not the end, it's the beginning of people finally naming names, of the walls cracking, and of the whole tower one day falling down. And just like that, she walked out, not as a talk show host, not as a gossip queen, but as a witness whose voice could no longer be denied.
That's what I'm talking about. Wow. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When we're young, it's what it is.
Everything okay?
I'm just saying.